Hey everybody, we're going to take a look at the first 3 of 8 skills that you have for exponential functions, and we're going to go over the basics. So to start, here's a problem. A new car is purchased for $21,100. The value of the car depreciates at 10.5% per year. What will be the value of the car to the nearest cent after 6 years? So this is a classic exponential functions problem. So let's start with this. One of the biggest things that we've discussed in class is the idea that an exponential equation is written as y equals a times b to the x. So you know that the value of a, for example, is the y-intercept or the starting value, so 21,100. And so then it's about figuring out what is the value of this factor. Right? So one thing that we've learned about the factor is that it is 1 plus or minus the rate. All right? In this case, we are depreciating. All right? So we are losing value. In other words, this growth factor has to be a number less than 1. So we're going to take away a value from 1. Okay? Now, how much am I taking away? Well, I'm taking away 10.5%. 10.5%. Mistake number 1. Some people like to say, well, let's take away 10.5 from 1. That would give you a negative number. So let's go to my calculator right here. And actually what I want to do is I don't want to take away 10.5, right? I want to take the number 10.5 and I want to find it as a percentage. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that decimal 2 places to the left. All right, in other words, that number is 0.105. All right, now that is actually 10.5 written as a decimal. So what I'm going to do with that number is I'm going to take it away from 1. 1 minus 0.1005, all right, 0.105, and I get 0.895. So this growth or decay factor actually is 0.895. All right, that's the trickiest part to find. Look what I did. I just took 1, I subtracted the decimal. I changed my percentage into a decimal. So now all I have to do is find the value of the car after 6 years. So I'm going to evaluate a 6 into that x. All right, and I'm going to make this calculation. All right, so that's my calculation. And 21,100 times 0.895 to the 6th power is 10,844.77803. I just need this to the nearest cent, so my answer is 10,844.78. And that would be correct. Okay. I can also look at a problem. Let's look at a problem with growth. If I'm growing by a percentage, all right, I know that my calculation is going to be A, or 14,000 for this problem, times B, or 1 plus my decimal. That is going to be 0.025. All right, so I'm moving this 2 places to the left. All right, in other words, that's 1.025, which gets raised to the 5th power. All right, giving me the answer of 15,839.7. I want it to the nearest whole number, so I'm going 15,830. Actually, to the nearest whole number, 840. All right, and that is correct. Okay, for your second skill, we're just finding the growth or decay rate. So that b value here, my b value is 0. I'm trying to delete that. Okay, it's 0.91. So remember, I find my b value by saying 1 minus the rate or 1 plus the rate. So I'm looking at its difference from 1. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 and subtract 0.91, and I get the decimal 0.09. If I move that decimal 2 places to the right, I discover that that is a 9%. You don't want to say 0.09% increase. I'm going to turn that into a decimal, into a percentage, which means move the decimal 2 places to the right. So this is a 9% decrease. All right, it's decay because it is less than 1. All right. I can look at another problem. Let's look for a value larger than 1. All right, here's a value larger than 1. All right, this is 0.05 larger than 1. I can see that now. Off the top of my head, I know that's a 5% increase, but you can use a calculator if you want. All right, you can say 1.05 and find the difference from 1, minus 1. All right, and you get 0.05. If you don't like to move the decimal, you can do 0.05 and multiply it by 100, and that gives you 5. That's a 5% increase, and it is correct. For your last skill, or for the third skill, we are trying to match correct evaluations. Now notice, knowing the y-intercept is good, 72.7, fantastic. However, I need to know how to apply this rate. So it says it grows at a rate of 3.5%. I am going to say 1 plus 0.35. All right, 1, that says 1 equals 1 plus. So I get 1 point, and I need an extra 0 actually. 1 plus, I get 1.035. So I'm looking at these that have a value of 1.035 or 1 plus 0.035. And I'm going to raise it to the 4th power. So let's see. My first option, well, it's subtracting it. It is decay. This one looks okay because it's adding it. Let's see what power. That's 1, 2, 3 factors. So that's the 3rd power. I'm looking for the value after 4 years. This one uses the third option uses the correct exponent, but it's exponential decay. It took away 3.5% from 100%. And then this one looks, answer choice D looks similar to B, and it has been raised to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th power. So this is my correct answer. All right. And that is how you work with those first 3 skills.